Peace and blessings. Welcome to my happy place, Diva G's Reborns. I am Regina. We are here again with our painting series titled Melanated Reborning A to Z 1, 2, 3 with Diva G. That's a long title, right? Well, okay, so just to kind of recap this beautiful baby. This is who we are reborning with her little cute little smile and dimples. She is so cute. What we have done is we primed the kit and we applied 2 base layers of foundation color. We then went over strategic areas with the eyelid purple so that it would begin to deepen up in certain areas. You maybe can see a little bit of color there, but yeah, so that's what's there. And you can see some of the foundation color because you can see the difference in the color from the flange and the actual painted kit. Went over the limbs, okay, and we put the eyelid purple again in strategic areas where we would like it to be deepened. Something that I did want to make mention of is I made mention of the Liquitex Ultra Matte Gel. When you open this, it is white. However, it dries clear. So anything that you're using, you want to make sure that it will, any medium that you're adding, you want to make sure that it dries clear. That's something that's important that I don't believe that I made mention of, but it does dry clear as well as the other agents that we went over. In the description box below, I did include many of the supplies that I do use so that you might find it helpful to look at those and maybe do some price checks because you may find something similar or better at a different price that might be better for you. But it is something that can help kind of point you in a direction. So, what we will be doing on today is I went over some of the paints, but I didn't go into extreme detail. I use basically Ultimate Fusion air dry paints. Um, and what I did was I purchased a starter kit. So it came with a variety of colors. And then what I did was I went on the website Ultimate Fusion. They have their own website, and you can also get it from Irresistibles. And I don't know if it's McPherson's as well, but nonetheless, um, what I did was some of the colors that I wanted more of, I ordered separate. So that's what I did. So that's kind of like what you see kind of peeking out here. Normally I have them, you know, tucked away because when I'm painting, I have out what I actually need that's already kind of mixed. But I did want to show you the Ultimate Fusion. So, yeah, so these are some of the bottles the way it comes. And there are other acrylic paints that you may be interested in trying to use. Golden, they have a wonderful line. And then there are some other paint lines as well. And mixing the Liquitex along with the wetting agent, the distilled water, and the satin glaze, helps basically any of the acrylic paints that you might use to function well. So that's something that I wanted to mention. But yeah, so Ultimate Fusion, and it's an air dry paint. I'm an air dry artist, and so that's something that I wanted to be certain that I did mention to you. Now, what I will be doing with our baby Onyx to deepen her skin tones, there are different ways to be able to do that. One of the ways that I like to do it is I like to do a bit of mottling in various colors because it kind of, brings all of the colors together in a nice way and you get this beautiful, rich skin tone. Now, when you're using air dry paint, generally using up to 8 coats in a day of paint is fine. Now, what I do is what I'll do oftentimes is I will use a heat gun and to help to dry it, and just I kind of go across like this, and it can kind of help dry, and then I can do um, maybe more than 8 layers in a day or what have you. And sometimes there may be areas that you want to do one layer and then another layer of the same color, like what we're going to be doing in a few minutes. So you'll see I'll be using the heat gun. Now, one of the first colors that I like to use when I'm modeling um, is I love this Eyelid purple. This is really a wonderful, wonderful color. It just, like I made mention before, it's like really a chameleon. It takes on whatever color you want it to be. It just makes everything better. So yeah. Um, so what I will do is I'm gonna kind of wet my brush a little bit in some distilled water here so that it gets nice and soft. I have all of these beautiful brushes that that I won, and I have to I have to get used to using them. I'm so used to using these that I have to get used to using them because they're very nice. Very nice. So you always make sure that you stir your paint really, really good. Air dry paint. This is a glass container and it's sealed well. Air dry paint, you mix it with distilled water. And unless you have an agent mixed with the water to prevent, you know, um, bacteria from coming into the, for being in the water, you have to, um, I'm sorry, I got a text message and I lost my train of thought. Just one moment. Okay, so I want to go over the modeling. I like to use sea sponges. You can also use, the makeup sponges, the beauty blender type ones. I have those too. I find that I like this um, because of, the irregularities of the holes. So I like that. Now, when I model, I don't model the face. I do model the head and around the ears, but I don't model the face. And I don't model the palms or the soles of the feet. Palms of the hands or the soles of the feet. Now, what I will do is I'm just going to make sure that there's not an excessive amount. So what I do is I just kind of tap it off, and I'm just going to roll it over. Okay. You see, and it's not very heavy. The color that I'm using, it's kind of like the consistency of a it's almost like a kind of like the mm, kind of like the skim milk consistency that we talked about before. And again, like I said, I don't do the face. I get close to it, but I don't do the face. That's just my preference. Now I will do a little bit with the ear. Um, Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And you know, so now we will move on to the next one. And you can model with a lot of different colors if you want, or not model at all. You know, it's a it's an individual choice. Um, just with melanated babies, the modeling does uh, help to create that depth that is needed, because otherwise, without the depth, the skin tone may not look real. So with the modeling, strategically, it does give that look. I do some modeling on the fingers, but not a lot. And so you can't really see it that well, but this is the pattern that is kind of on the limb, but it's very faint. It's very faint. Okay. And you're not looking to overlap it. You do want it to have some spaces, because we will be using two other colors. We will use a red and a blue. Sometimes I start first with the blue. I don't like to go first with the red at all. The red is so very overpowering that I don't like to go first with the red. I like to have the other colors on, and then the red, because at that point, then the red blends in a little bit more. So, and you do have to be mindful of the modeling, because if you're not careful the way you apply it, your baby can look like um, it's bruised. And you definitely don't want that look. So I'm just kind of going around the limb, just tapping it on. See if you can see some of the color. I don't know if you're able to, but it gives some additional color to the doll. Now, after I use the sea sponge, I don't have to wash it. I just put it in a bag with the other sea sponges that I keep, and that's fine that way. Just cleaning out the brush with some distilled water. And I will now cover it up. Then I'm going to use the blue. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. You always want to make sure you stir it. And when I'm mixing my paints, what I do is I mix my paints, and I don't mix an excessive amount. I mean, I do paint dolls, um, pretty much every day or almost every day. So I do use my paint, but I don't have a whole lot that is not being used, because there are certain colors that I primarily really do use more than others. So, yeah. So the consistency again, okay, it's kind of like skim milk. It's kind of like a wash. Okay. Some people, when they do the mottling, the paint, they will have the consistency a little bit thicker. I like it to be, I like it to be thin. I like it to be thin because I just like the appearance it gives. So we're gonna go again, kind of going around. And the blue mottling also gives the illusion of veins, whereas the purple and the red kind of gives the illusion of actual blood flow, like a little bit of blushing to the skin. So, and it tends to dry really quick because it is a wash, and we're not putting a lot. We're just tapping a little bit on the kit. Just a little bit. You maybe can see a little color. In the hands, you want to be very mindful because the palms and around the borders of the hand, um, we don't put a certain color there. Okay. And when I say the border of the hand, I mean this part of the hand. We stop the color here, and then it turns into the palm. So, yeah. But you'll see what I mean when I get to that on the actual doll. Now, although I did do the veins, they probably are going to be obscured. However, they are there. They are there. And they will peek through in certain areas. They will. So to me, I don't know if this is actually really considered modeling. Um, it's more like creating depth layers so that your doll doesn't look flat, that your doll looks more like a baby, if that's what you desire. I like creating dolls that are, have a realistic look. I'm not saying hyper realistic, but that they do have some realism to them. And I do like that. I just see some, remember I was talking about crumbs, kind of like from the paint. That's what I'm seeing. When I finish today's painting session, I'll make sure that I go, wash the brushes to be certain, and then go around the jars to kind of get off anything that shouldn't be there. You may notice that when I'm doing the depth layers or the modeling, I started up high. Um, and that's because if it was an excessive amount of paint, it wouldn't be as noticeable or as difficult for me to be able to remove it without making it look bad. So, let's see if you can see. Okay. Now, because we don't use modeling to the face, what I am going to do is I'm going to do some highlight to the face. So I will show you what that's like, because with basically with the deeper the skin tone, the melanated person, the mid face tends to have a little bit more brightness, a little bit lighter. So I like to replicate that when I'm painting. So I'm going to show you how I go about it. Mhm. So what I do is I have what is called um, yellow ochre. I like the yellow ochre. I feel that it gives a nice color for our melanated babies. I feel that it gives a nice color. This looks like I might need to add some water. see. Yeah, because it's, you see, it's a little bit, let's see, is it too thick? No, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Want to make sure that I have it stirred really, really well. I'm going to just put a little bit of the water mixture, the distilled water and the wetting agent, just a little bit. Just 3 little drops, only because I want to make it, loosen it up just a little bit more. I love this this color. I feel that it's very flattering. What I will do is I'm going to put it on the back of the head first to see. I like to always start the paint in a area that is not so visible. Okay, okay, it's the consistency is fine. Now I'm starting it on the back of the head, even though the back of the head will have hair and, you know, a deeper skin tone. I like to be able to blend it. So you'll see what I mean in just a second. So, and the color of the mid face depends on the overall color that you want your doll to have. Everything should kind of be a nice blend. You know, the colors should kind of just kind of go seamlessly into one another, not like a harsh line of demarcation. Should just kind of look like it's just a nice transition. Okay, now go on the face, and on the face I want to get everywhere on the face, and then I will decide how far I want to lighten the mid face, you know. I even did a little bit slightly across the lips, because this is a very it's a pale color. It's going to be pale once we pounce it. You know, it will just give that inner glow that we're looking for, and that bit of highlight. And it's only the face that we will be doing this. Only on the face. On the limbs, we will have the brown, the medium brown color that we've decided for the complexion. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't have any pooling anywhere. Okay. I'm just removing any excess paint out of the sponge. Just want to make sure. Okay. Now, as an additional thing, what I will do is I want to take the brush. Where's my other brush? And just kind of go across to clean out the creases. This isn't the brush that I wanted to use. Oh, but it gets into the crease area, which is fine. That's really what I wanted, just as something to get inside the crease area. So I use the yellow ochre, but the kit doesn't look yellow, but you will see what the color will come out to be. So we will let this dry. We will let her dry, and we will move forward with the brown coloring on the limbs. Now we're going to use a deeper brown color. This is the medium brown that we will be using. Okay, so I'm stirring this up. Okay. I'm going to take the smaller brush because now we don't want this to go on the nails. We only want this to go on what would be the skin. And we're going to make sure that we keep the border of the palm without any paint. We don't want that to have any major color. Oh, wow. I just realized I didn't do my creases. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. We will do the creases. Okay, again, the border of the finger, we're going to leave that blank, but we're going to feather it blank. We're not going to leave a line. We're just going to kind of feather it, because a line will not look natural. We want to just have a nice little feathering color of it. Now the sponge I have it slightly dipped in water, and I squeezed out the excess of the distilled water from it, and I'm pouncing. Pouncing with it slightly moist like this gives more of a smooth look when it's pounced rather than a harsh line. Okay, you can see the color now more so. Creating the depth layers, um, you have to build it up. I know we're early in the series. I do hope that you are enjoying it and that you're learning something. We always have to be certain that we don't have any pooling anywhere. What you may notice is I'm dipping the Q-tip in some water because I see like some kind of like crumbs, I don't know, from paint maybe. And then I'm just going to pounce it back out. That's all. Okay. Now this hand has open, the hand is open. So we have to be very strategic how we place the paint. We're swiping it and then we're going to feather it. Because you want that feather effect on the borders of the fingers and the thumb. Hmm. Trying to make sure that I don't have any pooling paint. And it looks like it wants to try to pool right there. We're not having that. Cannot have that. Hmm. Okay. Okay, good. This is not going to be a very long video, although it's long already. I think this kit is a very nice kit. I like the limbs and that little smiling face with the dimples just is something. It's just something. And and again, we have to feather it around the borders of the toes and the soles of the feet so that it has that natural look. already in January. Time is just marching on, isn't it? Just marching right on. I was looking at something, a news clip about Brooke Shields. She has she's experiencing some health challenges right now. Some serious health challenges. So, pray that she's okay. Believe it or not, I am sleepy. I mean, it's late in the evening. It's nighttime, so that's why. Sleepy. I wasn't even thinking that I could have paused the video so that you wouldn't have to watch me doing the same step over and over on all the limbs. Look at this piece of hair. Or no, maybe not. You know, red, yellow, and blue makes brown. So you can always make a brown color, and it depends on what the different shades are of red, blue, and yellow. Because you can have a warm red or a cold red, cool red. Same thing with blue. Okay, let me pause the video. I should have had the video on while I was making the brown. Well, I used, it's actually just brown. The color is called brown. And what I did was I did the Liquitex and the golden satin glaze, and then now I'm going to take the water mixture and just mix that up. I didn't mix a lot. I should have mixed more. And I tell you, your Dolly sister is sleepy. Your Dolly sister is sleepy. Very sleepy. What I would like to do is another layer of the yellow, yellow ochre. I want a little bit more yellow. Not that I want the baby to look jaundiced, because the baby will not look jaundiced. But I do want a little bit more yellow. Just a little bit more. Okay. Ooh. Oh, God. Paint all over my hand. Oh, my glove. Hmm. Okay. The reason that I'm using the yellow ochre all over the head is so that when I begin to blend and highlight the rest of the face, it will be a nice it'll be a nice blend. Okay. And whatever I do on one side, I want to make sure that I'm doing it on the other. This time I'm avoiding the lips. Okay. Just cleaning out the creases. Okay. Now, the thing is, we did not do the creases, so we need to do the creases. Creases are very interesting because depending on the part of the body and the color of that particular part will determine what color you would be using for the crease. Okay, so we will go ahead and crease. Since we're going to be using a brown, the medium brown color, we're going to crease with chocolate, prism color chocolate, and that's 1082. Okay, so I want to make sure that the point is extremely sharp. Oops. And so I need my pencil sharpener. Sure. Nice and sharp. You want it to go inside the crease. And once I go inside the crease, I'm going to kind of blend it with this swab. This is one of the microblading Q-tip swabs. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get in here. I'm not gonna press very hard. I just want to get in here if I can. I have to see how this looks. Okay, I did in between the pinky and the ring finger. I like using the pencils because they're clean. Ah, that's what I was afraid of. The point broke. Wow. Okay, so I was able to do the creasing. Okay, with the pencil. I think it came out very nice. So it's good. And what I will do now is go over the head and the face so that we can begin to build up the mid face. Okay. Working on the mid face, it does take some, it does take some work. I won't deny that. It does. It takes a little bit of work to get the face to the layers that I believe would be flattering. So, go ahead. I'm only going to do the face, and then we'll end the video. Yeah, I'm sleepy. It's funny, I'm sleepy. I guess that's why I'm not even talking that much. But the thing about doing the mid face, the way that I do it is I begin to build up around the other portions of the face. So getting behind the ears, like this. And we're going ahead with the brown. And we're going to make sure we get the ears. And we're going to go under the neck. Or I should say under. Now the thing is, we stop the paint where it would be hidden in the hairline. Actually, we didn't come out further just yet. We didn't come out further just yet. I do want you to see how nice though the underpainting for the deepening colors is coming along nicely. I don't know if you can see the ear with the deeper color to it. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry. And I think because I happen to be very sleepy, I think I am going to end the video here. Our kit is coming along very nicely. This is our kit Onyx from Alyssa Vaughn, that is the sculptor, and this kit is from Reborns, where this is a very lovely kit. I think she's going to be very beautiful, and I hope that you are able to, that you are enjoying this tutorial, or I should say this series. And please do like, comment, subscribe, and share. And please do come back for more as we are continuing with our melanated reborning A to Z 1, 2, 3 with Diva G. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Peace and blessings.